Hi guys, my name is Cassie Barnett. I'm a behavior coach in the Olathe East feeder pattern, and this is a quick introduction to Class Dojo, a website or application used for a class-wide PBIS system. This information can also be shared with parents, which makes it a little bit more fun than your traditional class bucks or any other PBIS system. To get started, you go to classdojo.com or on your app store, download the Class Dojo app. I already have an account, but if you don't, you would simply click sign up. It's a very easy sign up. Just enter your basic information. I am logging in as a teacher using my account that I've already set up. When you set up your account, you would select the school that you work for so you can be connected in your building. I have selected just our district. Once there, you can set up your own classroom. So you select a new class. You can name it let's say 4th grade All-Stars, and that can be your classroom. These are my 4th graders. And then you can select that if you want to share positive points or all points. It is possible to take away points from students with this app or not share information at all with parents. I'm going to choose to share positive points with parents. All right, then I'm going to add my students. So I have Peyton Barnett. He's also in my other class. I'm going to add him to this one as well. And Porter Barnett. These are my own kids. Once they're in there, we can start giving points right away. So Peyton, I can click on his name, give him a task point for being on task. You'll hear that fun noise, and then that's when you can prompt your students by saying, "Hey, Peyton, I just gave you a task for being, or point for being on task. Thanks so much for working hard." And then I can say, "Porter, you seem to be working great with your group. That's a point for teamwork." If I want to give a whole class point, I can say that everybody is working hard on our assignment. So I just gave everybody a point for working hard. You can also add skills. So by clicking here, you can add something else that you're working on, maybe arriving on time. Save that. And now I can give a point to one of my students for arriving on time. It is also possible to take points away through this app. I would avoid doing that. This is a class-wide system, so it's better for your relationship with that student to not be taking points away in front of the class. Instead, we want to use this to reinforce the skills we want to see. And behavior goes where reinforcement flows, so focus on the positive. Once you've given your points away, you can also track your reports. So I can look at my whole class reports. I see that it was all positive, which we said we were only going to focus on the positive. And then I can see a breakdown of how many points were given in each of these areas. I can also look at individual student data to see how many points students receive for different things. You can also invite parents. So I have Porter here. I'm going to invite Porter's parents. You put in an email or a phone number and click invite. They will get a text or an email that links them to your class. They set up a simple account, and then they're then getting information about when their students or when their children are being reinforced in the classroom. Outside of those reports and sharing information, you also have all these other fun tools. So let's start with attendance. You can take attendance through this app, so you can know that a student didn't get points on certain days simply because they were not there. So I can mark a student absent, late, maybe he came in and out of the room. That's an easy way to track that. There's also a timer, so you can set a timer that would be visually on the board. It's nice to have those things all in one spot. There is random student, so I just let it flip through my students, then I selected one. That's going to be who's in charge. So maybe I'm selecting a student to, turn off the lights, and so I would use that random one. I also can have a group maker, so I could say I want 2 students per group, and it will go ahead and organize my kids into random groups. I can select who I do not want in the same group. We all know that's useful. There is a noise maker. I can change how sensitive it is. If I want my students working quietly in their groups, I could make it to where I tell them I don't want to see any red. I want to keep it down here, check their volume. There's also a way to put directions on the board. So you simply type in what your activity name is, add your directions, and it'll put all those up on the board for you. Think, pair, share. Tell your students what you want to, it'll display your questions for the students to discuss when they work in their groups. Today, so this is a great way to start the day. You'd have this up on the board. It may say something like, good morning, please remember to turn in your homework and at the table in the back, and then get started on the worksheet at your desk or whatever your morning work would be. So that can be up on your board right when you start the day. And then there's music to help them focus. And you can also choose music to help them get a little energized. Outside of that, there's also this big idea where you can teach student-specific skills, maybe related to growth mindset. It'll show you videos, a discussion, and then ways to reinforce that or share that with parents. For Bloom's taxonomy, I believe that this hits the remember, because we're reiterating our classroom expectations through our reinforcement and apply as students demonstrate the expected behavior. And then on the SAMR model, this is augmentation. This is similar to your PBIS class bucks or star systems, but it's better because it tracks it all for you, shares information, and provides all these tools. Thanks. I hope you explore this more on your own.